We do begin here with that reaction to Luigi Mangione's guilty plea in federal court. The man accused of gunning down healthcare executive Brian Thompson nearly 2 years ago admitted in court that he stalked and shot Thompson and offered new details on his motive. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky was in the courtroom with the details. Aaron, you've been following this from the very beginning, and this is really surprising.
It was a stunning day, even though we had an inkling of what was to come, Gio. Good morning to you. The family of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was seated just feet away from Luigi Mangione when he admitted to stalking and killing the husband and father of two. Luigi Mangione, though, expressed no remorse, and he also cast himself as the real victim.
Brian Thompson's family filed into court, coming face-to-face for the first time with Luigi Mangione, the 28-year-old who coolly admitted, "I shot Mr. Thompson in Manhattan." Thompson's widow, Paulette, appeared to sob as Mangione pleaded guilty to stalking her husband before killing him, telling the judge he traveled to New York with the intent to shoot Brian Thompson. To learn where he would be, Mangione said he emailed United Healthcare, posing as an investor at a firm managing over $50 billion in assets, and requested information about the company's investor conference. "I used a 3D printer to make part of a gun, and I equipped the gun with a silencer and magazines." Police later found those items in Mangione's backpack.
He admitted that he planned it, that he plotted it, that he fooled United Healthcare to get information, and that he stalked Brian Thompson.
Mangione was never a customer of United Healthcare, but said he acted after years of enduring severe pain from a broken back, navigating the obstacles of the health insurance system and witnessing similar experiences of others.
He believed that the system had failed him and destroyed his life.
Federal prosecutors said they would now push for a life sentence.
No grievance, political belief, or ideological cause can ever justify murder.
Thompson's family shared these photos of him through the years and said Mangione's guilty plea marks an important step toward justice for Brian and for our family.
They're still grieving, and they have been grieving for almost 2 years.
And the matter is not over. Mangione's state murder trial is scheduled to begin less than a month from now. Defense attorneys are already trying to convince the judge to drop it, arguing Mangione is unfairly being prosecuted twice for the same conduct. But prosecutors at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, Gio, say they are going to press on, believing there is a difference between stalking and murder. They want to press forward at least until they know how much federal time Mangione is going to serve when he's sentenced in December.
Okay,
Gio?
Aaron, we will see what happens with that state case. Thank you so much. Joining us now is ABC News Live legal contributor Shauna Lloyd, managing partner over at the Cochran firm. Shauna, it is good to see you here. What was your reaction to this?
You know, I was not surprised. This is the smartest legal move for his case and the way it's been handled. The fact that the state case was going first and federal was after, this was the smartest way to ensure that he was going to at least have the opportunity to try to mitigate his sentence and have it downward departure from what a life sentence could be.
And what about the Manhattan prosecutors saying that they are committed to moving forward? Can it go forward? And then explain the law behind double jeopardy.
So double jeopardy essentially means that you are not tried for the same crimes, the same criminal transaction. Now, in New York specifically, they've actually increased the enhancement and the protection. So that's something that's very specific to New York. And that is why it affects the state case, because what they're saying is that the same criminal action, the going to New York, having the ghost gun, admitting to stalking and killing is what is all part of the same transaction. There's nothing different. And so that is why double jeopardy is what they're saying precludes the state case from going forward, because he's already pled guilty to it.
Okay, that's what they're saying.
Correct.
But let's talk about this, because that state trial is expected to start in just a few weeks. So how strong is that argument that they're making?
So double jeopardy is a very strong protection that they're going to look very closely at. Now, we do have to remember that New York has a few exceptions as to why you can still move forward. So you have to show that the crimes are significantly different and or the reason that you're looking to prosecute is different. And what they're saying is, though, although he was stalking with the intent to kill, that these murder charges are significantly different and that they want to prosecute it because murder is different than the stalking with intent to murder.
And just quickly, let's talk about the double jeopardy some more. And we mentioned the timing of the state versus the federal. Would it be different if state prosecutors had managed to get Mangione in court before the federal case?
Absolutely. And that was why they have been pushing so hard to ensure that the state went before the federal crime. Because, like I said, New York has an expanded double jeopardy protection. And so if you do the state case first, then the feds would have been able to prosecute because it's a different charge. And we have to remember that the federal and the state levels are seen as separate entities. And that's why they're able to bring similar charges.
Very fascinating, Shauna. Thank you so much
Always
for
a
breaking
pleasure.
this down for us.
Definitely.
Let's talk about those severe storms now lashing the Midwest. Samara is here with the latest on that. Good morning, Samara.
Good morning, Rhiannon, and that's correct. The Midwest has been dealing with relentless rain. They had 7 flash flood emergencies this past week alone, and to think they're bracing for more. Overnight, deadly flooding and heavy rainfall.
This is so crazy.
In Indiana, historic and catastrophic floods. This shopping center underwater, the parking lot flowing like a river.
We've lived here over 45 years and we've never seen anything like this, ever.
The days-long storm bringing more than 10 inches to some areas.
We're just trying to save what we can right now.
This neighborhood near the White River evacuating. The river expected to crest today. Already, it's just shy of 25 feet, breaking a record set during the Great Flood of 1913. This business along the banks of the river flooded. Outside, nothing but deep water as far as you can see. First responders saying a big problem, people trying to drive through it. At least one woman died after floodwaters swept her vehicle into a cornfield. Outside Cincinnati, families in Hamilton County near the Whitewater River told to leave as it overflows its banks on the Ohio-Indiana border. In Connorsville, the floodwaters receding, showing the devastation left behind.
We're lucky, though. This is our business, our building, but people like our neighbors lost their homes.
Neighbors helping neighbors.
It's heartbreaking. We're a small community, but it's nice to see everyone coming together to organize efforts.
In Colorado, rain pooling in this parking lot in Denver as a deluge drenched the city.
And in other big news in the weather world, we are tracking Tropical Storm Lala. Take a look right now. We have a hurricane warning still in place for the state of Hawaii, particularly Big Island, where winds can gust of over 70 miles per hour. The reason it's a hurricane warning is because we're anticipating the system to re-strengthen, becoming a Cat 1 briefly before decreasing back to a tropical storm. It's anticipated to brush past the southern tier of Big Island. There's a lot of lava fields down in that region there. You can see by Saturday p.m. it's starting to veer away from the islands, and then by Sunday tomorrow evening we start to see it move out to sea, but not before dumping copious amounts of rain. Here's a look right now. This is what the radar could look like in the coming hours. You see Big Island taking the biggest hit when it comes to this storm. 12 to 24 inches of rain is possible by the time it's all said and done, so flooding could be a major issue for the island, especially on that southern tier just south of Hilo. Whit?
All right, Samara, so let's go to Hawaii, where they are bracing for up to 2 feet of rain on the Big Island. Melissa Don joins us now from Hilo with the latest. Melissa, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. So Lala is expected to strengthen to a hurricane today, and it's heading here towards the Big Island. Now, right now, we are experiencing those outer bands of Lala. You can see that the wind is coming in. Those palm trees are swaying, and at times we've already felt those rain bands that are coming through because we are under that hurricane warning. And let me tell you, with this hurricane warning, makes it Lala could be the first ever hurricane that actually makes a direct hit on the Big Island of Hawaii. We're looking at it as it strengthens, approaching with likely 75-mile-per-hour winds and up to 2 feet of rain. That is what made so many people, like locals, try to stock up on critical supplies, generators selling out, grocery stores emptying as we brace for impact, while folks shoveling up sandbags to help prevent flooding, of course. And now mudslides are a major concern on the island due to its massive mountains and volcanoes. Some locals here tell me they are worried.
Scary, a lot. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what to expect, and we only can hope that we can survive this if it does happen.
Now, Hawaii's governor declaring a natural disaster warning, and they've also activated the National Guard here because conditions will deteriorate today. And this is, of course, why this warning is so important, as we're going to be feeling those impacts here through of not just the Big Island, but throughout the Hawaiian Islands all this weekend. Gio?
All right, Melissa Don, let's hope everyone stays safe. Thank you so much. We're going to turn now to the war on Iran, as President Trump says he plans to declare the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory. And Stephen Portnoy has the latest now from Washington. Stephen, good morning.
Good morning, Gio. The president claims Iran is being very badly defeated in the war, and now he's talking about the U.S. keeping control of the strait.
President Trump addressing a crowd of police officers on Long Island, calling the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports an unstoppable wall of steel.
No ships get through unless we want them to.
The president claiming the U.S. is winning big against Iran.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
Overnight, Iran's deputy foreign minister responding, saying the Strait of Hormuz has been Iranian, is Iranian, and will remain Iranian, and will only be closed and opened under Iran's command. The stalemate continuing, with the president struggling to achieve a lasting agreement. The UAE alleges Iranian forces fired on 2 oil tankers trying to cross the strait Thursday. Gas prices in the U.S. now averaging $4.07 a gallon, up 19 cents in the past month. And the situation seeming to take its toll on sailors aboard an American aircraft carrier in the region. The USS Lincoln has been at sea for nearly 9 months. The Pentagon denies claims by family members that the deployment and alleged shortages of supplies are affecting the mental health of crew members.
Completely misrepresented. Listen, we make sure that every ship, every crew, every captain has everything we can provide them at every single moment.
President Trump says another ship is heading to the region to replace the Lincoln, but when asked if the deployment has gone on too long, he said no.
Not nearly long enough.
Administration officials are now talking about ramping up the pressure on Iran, with the Treasury Secretary saying to expect measures that have never been seen in the history of economic isolation of a country. Gio.
Meanwhile, Stephen, the president is also trying to push ahead with the White House ballroom project.
Yeah, the administration formally asked the Supreme Court yesterday to set aside rulings that would block the ballroom because Congress hasn't authorized it. In its filing, the administration insists the project is necessary for national security, and it claims the steel and concrete structure is now so far along it's beyond the point of no return. Gio?
All right, Stephen Portnoy there in Washington. Stephen, thank you so much. Rhiannon?
And now to that massive and deadly earthquake in Indonesia, where rescuers are searching for survivors in the rubble. The country located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, and Lama Hassan is in London and has the latest on this. Good morning, Lama.
Yeah, good morning to you, Rhiannon. Devastating scenes out of Indonesia after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake off the coastal island of Flores hit just before 6 a.m. local time, killing dozens of people and injuring many others. Dramatic video showing people terrified. You can see them running for safety and hear them screaming, some even streaming out on motorbikes moving inland after a tsunami warning was issued. It was later lifted. The massive quake and a number of aftershocks shaking buildings, collapsing several homes and causing concrete blocks to break off onto passengers waiting to board a ferry. People are still trapped beneath the mounds of rubble. Search and rescue teams are now working around the clock to rescue survivors during this critical window. But the fear is, with many people still trapped, the death toll could rise. Whit?
Devastating scenes there. Lama Hassan for us. Thank you. This morning, the Army grounding its Apache helicopters for training flights while it investigates the fatal crash in Texas that killed 2 pilots earlier this week. Officials identifying the soldiers killed. Chief Warrant Officer DeAndre T. Huey was 34 and had been with the Army for 12 years. The other pilot, 25-year-old Warrant Officer Seth L. Olmstead, joined the Army in 2023. Both were from Texas. Officials say the stand down will remain in effect until they have a better understanding of what went wrong. Gio?
Okay, Whit, the Food and Drug Administration says it's now on the ground in Mexico more than a month after the start of the Cyclospora outbreak linked to lettuce grown there. The agency says it's inspecting and sampling over at Taylor Farms of Mexico in coordination with Mexican officials. More than 9,000 illnesses across 17 states have been reported. Most of those illnesses were reported before Taylor Farms started recalling the lettuce back on July 17.
We know summer still in full swing, but pumpkin spice is back and the NFL is back. That means it's basically fall, right? The preseason kicking off this weekend. Ike Ajachi is here with all the action. Hey, Ike. It's not a bad job watching football. It is. It's back.
Best time of the year. Have to watch football every day for work. I don't mind that. Listen, good morning. The preseason officially in full swing with a packed slate of games as teams are shaking out their rosters ahead of the regular season. Now, in Friday night's headliner, the Broncos steamrolled the Falcons 27-7, punctuated by a 97-yard pick six from cornerback Jahdae Barron. And Tua Tagovailoa had an uneven night before Cooper Rush came in and threw 2 picks. You don't want to see that. One turning into that Barron touchdown. Now, down in D.C., the new Dolphins starter, Malik Willis, flashing early, though Washington did pull away for the win, but this is preseason, guys. Don't get carried away. And, of course, in New York, surprise starter Cade Klubnik moved the ball for the Jets in a loss to Tampa Bay. Now, the quarterback battles. Almost every team in camp has one brewing. Over there in Las Vegas, #1 overall pick Fernando Mendoza is pushing veteran Kirk Cousins for the Raiders job. And in Atlanta, it's Tua versus Michael Penix Jr. once he's fully back from that knee injury. And Minnesota already handed the reins to Kyler Murray over J.J. McCarthy. Looking for a new change up there. And over in Cleveland is Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. They're splitting starts as the staff is still trying to figure out who's going to lead the Browns this season. Now, there are games all day, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern with the Bears facing the Browns, followed by the Rams taking on Travis Kelce's Chiefs. And then at 8, the marquee matchup, defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Seattle still riding high off of that 29-13 win over the Patriots back in February, and you can see it all on the ESPN app and the NFL Network. Football is back, guys. Let's go.
How dare you? Travis Kelce's Chiefs. Those are Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs.
He is coming back from injury.
He's coming back.
I'm kidding. We love Travis.
Thank you, Ike.